now I'm going to start to record. There doesn't seem to be very much bud in here. Maybe only one or two tiny little pieces in this trim. Wow, there's almost none. Oh, and there's like a cat or dog hair or something connecting these two little tiny pieces of bud. Hi, I'm Adrienne Floreen, and I am running low on marijuana. What am I going to do? All I've got is this dish of trim with these tiny little pieces of bud in it. Should I smoke this? Would you like to smoke this with me? Probably not. I don't even think I want to smoke it. So sometimes, when I'm running low on pot, my friends help me out by giving me their roaches. Roaches are the butts of the marijuana cigarettes. And the other day, I was at my friend's house, and I noticed this huge jar of roaches sitting on his table, and I said, "Hey, I'm kind of running low on pot. Can you spare a few roaches?" And my friend gave me this whole jar of roaches, which I can't open.
I need some help.
Can you open this for me?
Yes. It's hard to open. Hurt my wrist.
Thanks for opening that for me, man.
You're welcome.
Now let's see what kind of roaches my friend gave me. Wow, that's a very long roach. It almost looks like almost half a joint. Maybe I could just put it in my mouth and smoke it, but as you can see, it's covered with ashes. And honestly, when I touched it, my finger got completely black with ashes. And not only that, but this jar used to have a label on it that was removed, and it's still got all this sticky stuff on it. You know, that's one of my pet peeves when jar companies use a really sticky glue that you can't remove. And you can easily remove the label from the jar, but when you try to remove the glue underneath, it's almost impossible. I think that companies should use glues that are easy to remove, because sometimes people like to reuse jars for other things. Anyway, there's some interesting things in here. This looks like maybe a watermelon flavored rolling paper was used to roll this one, and that's why it's red with those little spots on it. And there might even be a few blunt roaches in here. Gosh, there's some huge joints in here. Look at this one. And down here I see one that's like almost a whole joint. Why on earth would somebody put this in the jar of roaches? Well, I guess maybe a good reason would be to give it to me so I can smoke more marijuana. So, since there's so much ash on the joints, or roaches, I'm going to show you how to filter the ashes out of the roaches using this spaghetti strainer. Let's push the garbage down in this trash so the ashes can fall right in. And then I can set down the spaghetti strainer into the trash. Don't worry, it doesn't have any gross or dirty garbage in it. Just paper. And, oh, being very careful to avoid touching the sticky outside of the jar, I will now dump the roaches into the spaghetti strainer. And after dumping the roaches into the spaghetti strainer, you just gently shake, and the ashes fall through, leaving not so clean roaches, but cleaner roaches than we had before. At least a lot of the ash will be gone off the outside of the paper. Because I don't want to get ashes all over my fingers and my lips when I smoke these roaches. Normally, with small roaches like this, I'll break them up and roll them into new joints. And when I do that, I'll cut off the little burned tips so there's not any partially burned pot in my joint. With roaches like this one, well, this isn't even a roach. This is just a joint that's been lit up. A few puffs have been taken off of it and it's been put out. So I'll just smoke it until it gets down to the size of a normal roach. And then I'll break it up and roll it into new joints. I use medical marijuana because it helps with my pain so I can do normal things. Things like taking care of my cats. And right when I said that, Fluffhead starts meowing. I like these torch lighters because they're easier to light the joint with, especially when it's windy. And right now I've got some wind coming in from this window, which could make it hard to light a joint with a normal lighter. So I'm going to pull one of these long joints out of here and light it up. Let's see how it tastes. This one doesn't taste that great. It kind of tastes like stale, sour marijuana. Maybe too much fertilizer was used on the marijuana while it was being grown.
That's probably why they put it out.
Yeah. But I'd rather smoke this than nothing. Oh my gosh, can you do me a favor? Can you, pick up the camera?
Don't say that.
I would just like to say thank you for the roaches. And anytime anyone gives me marijuana, I'll make a video about it on YouTube.